Last time we know that Jesse did the deal with Gustavo. He produced the meth on his own and he tried to reach Gustavo to sell his batch. And Gustavo approved the deal to, do the business with him. But Gustavo only gave him half of the money and the other half was for water. So, in the first part of today's episode, Walter was hiding in the closet of his room, and he did not know anyone to hear his talk with Jesse. He was spoke on the phone with Jesse. So Jesse was pissed, and he asked Walter whether he had some secret ploy with Gustavo behind him or not, or why he only got half of the money. And of course, Walter didn't know anything about this matter, and he told Jesse that he would get to the bottom of this, try to figure out what was going on. But Jesse did not believe him, and he told Walter that he would keep using his formula whether he's consent or not. So Walter was angry as well. He hung up the phone, and then the other day he went to Gustavo's restaurant to ask him what was going on about this. So he told Gustavo that Jesse was capable of uh, producing the meth under his supervision, but he can't do this on his own. And he also sees through what Gustavo was trying to do. He was trying to use Jesse to stimulate Walter back into the business. So Gustavo owned up to it. He didn't deny it. He just told Walter that he got something to show him. So he drove Walter to the laundry factory and showed him the new laboratory he set up for him. So in the new laboratory, there were a lot of professional laboratory appliances and like very uh, state-of-the-art filtration systems. So Gustavo told Walter that he did not have to worry about any suspicion from police officer or DEA because his staff were all well trained and all the appliances was top of the line, was state of the art. So after a few seconds of consideration, and Walter took a look around the laboratory. He still made up his mind and told Gustavo his answer was no. He said that he had already made a lot of mistakes, and all these mistakes cost him his family. He can't stand anyone more. So Gustavo was kept turning down by Walter. So you can tell from his facial expression that he was kind of irritated by keeping he was kind of irritated by Walter's answer. So this time he came up to Walter and he simply said, the responsibility of a man is to provide. Even though he was not respected or loved, he still provided because that was his responsibility. And what he said really faltered Walter's determination. Walter Walter botched, and he wavered in his determination by what he said. So he told Gustavo that he need few days of consideration. So that was the first part of today's episode. And then as for Hank, We all know that he was currently chasing down the Heisenberg case. And last time, he got some pictures from the ATM machine outside of the gas station store. So he asked his colleagues to check with DMV, Department of Motor and Vehicles. And he got a list of the RVs. So he went through the RVs on the list one by one. So this time, he and Gomez, his partner, went to this camping site, and one of the RV on the list was parking there. So Hank trying to see through what was going on inside the car, and he even climbed to the top of the RV and tried to crawl from the top window. But it actually pretty normal. It's just a normal and regular family going out to have some vacation. So Hank didn't get anything from this, and he wanted to move on to the next RV on the list. But Gomez told him that he needed to head back home to pack. So it turned out that he was the placement for Hank because Hank turned down his promotion to transfer to Texas. So Gomez was his replacement. So Hank scratched his plan in the first place and went back home to get some rest for a few hours. Then he was planning to going out again. He was planning to go out again. When he was taking a shower, and Marie got inside the bathroom, and she told him that she had already knew uh, Gomez was a replacement for him, and she was quite happy about that because she didn't want him to transfer to Texas. That was a dangerous area for her, and she told him that if he had something to say, he didn't have to, hold it in. He didn't have to go through that on his own. If he wanted to talk to someone, Marie said he liked to be included. But what she said kind of irritated Hank. So Hank told Marie that why everybody he got tired of all these accusations that uh, everybody thought he was under a lot of pressure or something. So he started to crank up his volume and shouted at Marie. So in this scene, you can tell that even though Hank acted like he was normal, but he was actually under a lot of pressure from the previous experiences in the Texas. Remember a few months ago, he transferred to El Paso, Texas, and you need to deal with these cartel things. And I think you still remember the turtle bomb. So that was a terrible experiences for him, and he was actually afflicted by that. So on the other hand, Skylar was currently seeing her boss, Ted, and this day she asked Marie to take care of Holly for a few hours because she had another date with her boss. And then she pulled her car over to the side of the road and made a phone call to Marie for checking in. And Marie told Skylar everything was okay, the baby was sleeping, but she seemed like she still got something to say, but she just kept biting that back. So Skylar noticed that and she asked Marie what was going on. So Marie finally laid it all out on her and she told Skylar that she didn't know how to speak with Hank. She was like a total different person uh, Coming back from the Texas, he was different. So she also told Skyler that you must notice that Walter was different from the past after suffering from the cancer. So what Marie said kind of reflect, kind of made Skylar reflect on herself. Maybe she was too strict on Walter. Uh, so on that day night in the dinner, and Holly was crying beside the table. Skylar allowed Walter to touch her and to take her. So on the next day, she had a regular counseling. She had another periodical counseling with her lawyer, and she updated what was going on these days, like her relationship with her boss and the contradictions inside her. And then she brought up that Walter was hiding a bag of money inside their house. So she brought this up was because she tried to hint her lawyer and try to get the permission from her. And of course, her lawyer uh, didn't agree her to use that money. And she was kind of angry. Her lawyer was kind of angry about why she didn't move out from the house when if she kept staying in the house, if she kept staying in the house, she was culpable as well. So this counseling was not going well. And after the counseling, she went back home. She found Walter's room was all cleaned up, and there was a divorce application on the bed with Walter's signature. So Walter made up his mind to accept Gustavo's offer. He finally made up his mind to back into business again. So you might wonder where he went, right? He actually went to meet with Saul and Jesse. So that was the meeting set up by Saul, trying to settle the dispute between Jesse and Walter. So Saul told Walter that Jesse was going to make him an offer, and that was he could got 10% of what Jesse earned if he allowed Jesse to use his formula. And he also had to give that half of money back. So Walter took out that half of the money without saying anything and gave it back to Jesse. Then he told Jesse that that was the last time you are going to earn in this market because he had already accepted Gustavo's offer. So he was back into business and Jesse was out. So before Jesse left the office, he was pissed and he take a huge rock to smash the windshield of Walter's car and then he left. So Heisenberg was back. He finally made up his mind back into business. But Hank was still struggling with finding the RV. So he had already went through all the RVs on the list, but he didn't found anything. So even in the farewell party held for Gomez, he still asked his colleague try to check with DMV again. And then after checking with DMV, he really he got another RV because DMV forgot to renew the registration. So Hank was excited and he went to knock on the doors of the owner of that RV. And then a lady answered the door. So the lady told Hank that the RV was stolen a few months ago, but she didn't report to the police because she did not want this guy who stole the RV got arrested by police officer. So Hank was curious about their relationship and he kept asking. And the lady told him that this guy was actually her son, and his nickname was Combo. So speaking of which, you might remember that Combo is one of the friends of Jesse, and he got killed on the he got killed on the block because he was selling the meth on that block, and that block was not their territory back then. So, so it turned out that Combo stole the RV, stole his family's RV, and sold it to Jesse. So, Combo's mother allowed him to take a look around his room, and Hank found a picture with Combo and Jesse. And at the moment, he suddenly put together all the evidence and all the pieces he found before, and he realized that Jesse was the key man in Heisenberg case. So he was getting closer and closer to Walter and Jesse. So that was the end of this episode.